Joey. Welcome to my channel. I am unboxing the brand new collection from Jesse James Beads. It is the Coquette collection. There are also some pearls here and some other things that are new to the website. And I have to tell you, I am beyond exciting. I was halfway drooling and halfway breathless as I was opening my package. I mean, everything is so beautiful. And if you know me at all, you know that this pink and pastel and soft, flirty, girly look is just so happy in Joey land. So it's called the Coquette collection, and a coquette, you know, is a flirty girl. So these are the flirtiest beads I've ever seen. It's so exciting. So I'm going to start with well, I shouldn't even say my favorite thing because it's impossible to pick a favorite out of this, but I am just absolutely in love with these boho focal beads. They look like cake icing. They kind of look like a French soiree, you know, where you have pastries and all kinds of chocolates and things. So there's a pair of those in my favorite colors in the world, mauve and pink and that soft green. And then this boho bead pair is called Cotton Candy. They are just beautiful in this really soft, kind of a Marie Antoinette. This whole collection has an extremely Victorian vibe, even vintage, dating back to the 50s and 60s and, you know, even older. It's just beautiful, but these are my favorite things. These are just absolutely wonderful. Look how gorgeous. And I love that everything is mixed in gold and silver. And then this is, I hate to put these down, but my little Victorian girl is going to hold them. This is the most amazing connector bead. So if you can see, you can run, let me get a little piece of bead stringing wire and show you. You can run your bead stringing wire through the top loops on this piece. But if you look on the side, you can go across, you can crisscross. There are so many, I mean, your creativity is just not limited at all in working with this piece. And it's like a little grouping of hearts if you look at it. And on the back, you really see the little heart shape. So what a fabulous connector. And white and gold is so classic, elegant. I absolutely love it. And then you guys, I'm just dying over these. Look at these heart beads. I don't know if you can really see the profile, but they're filigree all the way around. They have this beautiful faceted heart-shaped crystal in pink and blue in the middle, and they are just stunning. I've already designed a project with this, and it's going to come later, and I'm going to do a project today because if you know me at all, you know that there's no way that I could unbox this without immediately designing in my head. But these are absolutely thrilling to me. Look how gorgeous the crystals are and the facets and just the thickness. And I wish we had Feel-O-Vision because there's a little bit of weightiness to these. I mean, they're just absolutely amazing. And then I absolutely love the connectors. This is going to go in the project I'm going to do with you as soon as I show you everything. These are just fabulous little scrolly filigree connectors. They remind me so much of the Rococo furniture, the mirrors, and all the, you know, more is more, the William Morris era of the Victorian age. When I was in design school, that was my favorite era to study. I absolutely love that. And then again, these have a very French vibe. They kind of remind me of all of the Marie Antoinette things that we know of. These are so beautiful. And this again, let me get a little piece of wire. This again has so many different ways that you can string. There are holes all the way around, so you could do a multi-strand piece with this. You could get really creative with needle and thread with this. And then I've already started playing with one of these little kind of hourglass shaped components. I just couldn't help myself. I just had to make something right away. But there's a little hole that goes in the middle. Whoops. Ooh, careful. Don't want to break my little Victorian butter pats. But now I've done a dangle on this little bead, and I can still string through the middle. So the sky is the limit with your creativity with these pieces. And then this was the loveliest little bead mix with pearls and crystals and some little stone cube beads and these beautiful little orange lucite bead caps. I just love those. I've already planned a project with those as well. And then you guys, I'm dying over these. These are the most gorgeous acrylic flower. They're like pomegranates, and they're in that beautiful red and pink and yellow and white. They're so amazing. I don't know what I'm going to do with these, but I'm thinking how gorgeous these would be on Brazilian waxed cord with something coming out of the middle of them. And they're very lightweight, just the opposite of these. They're very lightweight. So if you added a bead to the bottom of this, even a large bead cap across the bottom would just add dimension. They're just absolutely stunning. I've never seen anything like them. And then this chain is also amazing. You guys, I just don't even know how to say how much I love everything in this collection. This is a very delicate, almost fairy-like ethereal chain with little diamond cut bent bars that just sparkle, and hanging from those little bars by tiny little jump rings are these little pearl drops and a little crystal drop, and they have the teeny tiniest little bead caps, little gold frame on the heart. I mean, it's just absolutely beautiful. And if you just wanted to put a clasp on this and have a really lovely little necklace that just hangs at your collarbone, you could totally do that. But that's going in my first project as well. And then there's these amazing little like wildflower connectors. Aren't they gorgeous? So you've got a loop there and there. So pretty. I just absolutely love those. Those are so, I mean, your creativity is just like on fire when you get things like this to work with. And then look at this little set. These are all the beautiful butterfly wings, a pink flower, gold edged little seed pearls, and it's just a beautiful. So you have a connector loop here, but you can't overlook all the possibilities for doing really amazing designs. And again, this has like a little bit of weight to it. This feels like vintage jewelry. Like if you went in an antique shop and you bought something vintage that was many, many years old, it kind of has that feeling to it and that vibe. They're just absolutely gorgeous. I don't want to put it down. It's so, so, so pretty. And then there are these freshwater pearl triangles. Absolutely gorgeous. I mean, each one looks like an ocean treasure, and the little bead hole, let me get my piece of wire back here. The bead hole goes right up the middle. And so for me, when I see this, if you've been around my channel, you know that I love the look of wire laying on a bead. I love to do, artisan wire twirls and swirls and things that embellish a bead, and this is like a canvas for that. It's so perfect. Oh my goodness. And then I think I'm just going to grab all of the pearls out of my little Victorian salt cellar. I got all my Victorian dishes out to do this unboxing because I just thought it was absolutely perfect. But this is a little bead set. They are natural freshwater nugget pearl beads in a really beautiful white. No two are alike. They're very Baroque and just very like artisan pearls. And if you know me at all, if you've watched probably another one of my videos, you know that I've been working on this series called Pearls Reimagined, Not Your Nona's Pearls, where I have used all of these Baroque and freshwater pearls and potato pearls because, they're just not so contrived. Forgive my voice, you guys. I am still getting over the sickness. It's been almost a month and I'm still not over it, but I'm also really excited about this collection. So these are just absolutely amazing, and pearls are so classic. And again, if you wanted do some fancy wire work, each one of these has its own beautiful little shape, and the color of these is breathtaking. The luster on these and the color, the quality of these beautiful freshwater pearls is just amazing. I mean, you could really just put those in a dish and just look at them, even if you never made anything out of them. They're so beautiful. And then look at the bead strand. This is gorgeous. Again, it's like a Marie Antoinette soiree with like all the pastries and decadent desserts and chocolates, and it's just beautiful. And again, I love the mix of gold and silver, and I love the sparkle that's added in, and the pure deliciousness. Absolutely gorgeous. And then look at this bead strand, you guys. OMG. This is so gorgeous. This is going to be hard to cut open, but I have already planned a project with this boho bead. It has Aurora Borealis cup chain around the middle, and embedded in the bead are moon and star charms. It's absolutely stunning, and I adore the little bell flowers and the little flat flowers. The focal bead is wonderful. Really, when I looked at this, I thought you could literally just string this like this, and that could be your necklace focal, and add some chain to the back, and your necklace is done. Really, you don't even have to overthink this. I love to do my own thing though, but the designers at Jesse James Beads, they just outdid themselves on this strand. And look at this bead here. It is so beautiful. It has got a soft lavender clay background with little tiny AB hearts and little gold medallions all the way around, and there are 2 of them on this strand. It's absolutely breathtaking. This collection is so wonderful. I also got this beautiful little pair of ball earrings with a loop in the front, and I have a design that I'm kind of into right now in mind to do for that. So you're going to see some videos from me, and also you might want to go over to Jesse James Beads and follow their channel, because I'm making videos for their channel as well. So you'll catch a little bit of this collection in both places. So I'm going to make a project. Let me clean up just a little bit. This is the most beautiful little chandelier earring. It's absolutely stunning. I don't normally love chandelier earrings because they're just a little bit much for me. I lean towards smaller earrings, but I am totally going to wear these. They have all this movement, all of this delicacy. Like I said, they're just princess-like. They're very ethereal and very lightweight for being a chandelier earring. And I am making use of a few things here in this collection. There is this component and this gorgeous chain, and also new to Jesse James Beads is this gorgeous chain. It's got these little crystal faceted butterfly beads and little tiny seed pearls and really delicate chain. It's just a really beautiful chain. So I stole one of the butterflies from the chain. Let me come to this end and steal this little butterfly and the 2 gold spacer beads that are on either side of it. And I never waste anything when I dissect a chain or anything like that. I save all the little scraps, because you never know. Like for me, that could even be another earring. So I do save all the scraps. Let me set that aside. And then I have made with 20, I know you can't see, but I needed 22 gauge jump ring to fit through this connector to dangle my butterfly, and then I did a 20 gauge jump ring for my ear wire, because my ear wires, the orientation didn't quite suit the component, the like chandelier component, or the multi loop component. So if you can see, I needed a jump ring at the top of my earring to sit properly on my ear wire, and I also needed a really small jump ring to fit through the filigree here to dangle my butterfly. So I went ahead and made those, and I'm going to come to this piece of chain, and this is just really a little bit of connecting puzzle here. It's very small, but it's super easy connecting. So, and again, I'm not going to waste anything. I need 2 of the bars with the loop that is on the end. And I also need 2 of these little downward sections, but in order to get them off, I have to cut the tiny little link there. But there's still a loop there, and I'll show you when we connect why I did this. It has to do with making sure that my chandeliers hang properly. So I am going to cut, I'm going to lose this end of this bar because I know it's small, but I need this loop. So I'm going to come right here and carefully cut the loop on that bar. And I can set that aside for another project. And so the middle section, that dangle is going to stay in place. And I'm going to lose this little bar too. Just cut it away. Set that aside for another project. And then, as I said, I need 2 dangles, but I do have to lose that little link right there. But as small as it is, there's still a loop there to work with. And for these earrings, it works perfectly. So I am going to lay this out here the way it needs to get attached. And what you see here, these little jump rings, I also made those. And I made them out of 22 gauge wire, and I used the smallest step on my bail making plier because I just needed a really petite little jump ring to attach this very fine. I just make them ahead of time and keep them in a little jar, and so I know that these are 22 gauge anti-tarnish craft wire. I use my soft flex wire for all my jump rings. And then these 20 gauge ones, I do the same thing. I make them in advance, and then I know they're anti-tarnish. Okay, let's get to connecting. This is super simple. I am going to take one of my tiny little 22 gauge jump rings and put it through this loop. And then I'm going to take this side of my chain and put that through, maybe. This is such petite work. So I love this, and I'm really patient when it comes to making jewelry. So if this seems tedious to you, try using your pliers to help you so you can get your fingers out of the way. And so I'm going to thread on my chain onto this side and just get a hold of that tiny little loop. And then I'm going to take one of these little drops that I removed and add that on the outside of the chain and just get a hold. I can't even use my little jump ring tool that I wear on my finger because it's so small, but I can get it. Just going to close it really well. Just get in there with my pliers and close it really well. So the reason I did that, let me show you my prototype. So the reason I did that is because I wanted this little dangle to be hanging on the outside of my chain, making this downward drop, and the same thing on this side. And when I left it attached to the chain, it just wasn't hanging perfectly. So removing it and adding it onto the side just made it hang perfectly. And when you do a connecting project like this, keeping things hanging properly is really important, and connecting them so that they hang properly. So here again, I'm just going to get a hold of this in the direction I need it to go, and just repeat the same thing on this side, but in reverse. And that makes it just hang perfectly, just like the other one. Now for this little guy, I'm going to take one of my really fine gauge ball head pins. These are 22 gauge solid brass ball head pins. I'll put a link in the description box if you're in need of them, of a ball head pin. And then when I remove the butterfly from the other chain, I did rescue these little spacer beads, so I'm going to put one of those, put my butterfly, put my other spacer bead, and I'm going to do a wire wrapped loop here because I wanted to secure my butterfly facing forward. It will dangle and spin, but I still want to kind of do a nice neat wire wrapped loop that secures it. So I'm going to do a really small loop here and just bring that wire over the top of my pliers. It's very petite, but it's just the normal steps of a normal wire wrapped loop. And I'm just going to wrap right down to my butterfly, and before I do my final tucking, I'm going to make sure that my butterfly is facing forward and that I have enough wraps there to kind of keep it facing forward. Just a snip. And then I'm going to take, when I'm doing really petite work like this, oftentimes I'll use my Xuron crimping pliers because they have the tiniest little point. These can even double as a knotting tweezer because they have such a fine point. So there's my little charm. And now I'm going to come to the middle. Let's see, that's the 22 gauge. I needed to go down to a 22 gauge jump ring, and I'll show you why. The filigree on this, and there is a front and a back to these connectors, by the way. This one has it's a bit concave here, a bit recessed, and so that is the front. And so I'm going to come, let me see if I need to open this a little bit more. I probably do to fit in the component. So I'm going to come to the very center. I don't know if you can see how tiny that little, like it's like a little flower. Let me go from behind. Just, you have to just wiggle your jump ring in there, and the 22 gauge does fit through. Okay, once you get it in, you can, I mean, it does fit. You could go down to 24 gauge wire, but I made the 22 fit, and my rule of thumb is to always use the thickest gauge of wire that will fit through my beads or my component. So I'm just going to hang that little butterfly charm right on the middle of that jump ring and close it really well. When your wires and your things are so fine, it's very important to close jump rings well, because it is amazing how these little tiny fine gauge wires can find the slightest opening. And then the last step is to put this jump ring at the top and then add it to my ear wire through the top loop of that component, and add my ear wire and just close it really well. And this is like so stunning, but it's so simple with just basic jewelry tools and jewelry skills. All you need to be able to do is open and close a jump ring and a little wire wrapped loop. And look at that, you guys. They are so gorgeous. These are like the sweetest, loveliest chandelier earrings I've ever seen. I love them so much. And if you didn't notice, I could not put those beads away. I just want to keep looking at them. They are so beautiful. So I will definitely be back with more projects from this new collection. I am so excited about it. I don't even have words, and I've been out sick for, weeks. And so getting back to work has meant everything to me, but then getting this today really meant everything. So I thank you so much for watching. I hope everybody's safe and well and having fun on your beading mats. Ciao, friends.